Hey guys, this is Sebastian, Natural Mystic Pollock, bringing you a bankroll builder update for RakeBackDollars.com. I'm happy to say it looks like things have started to turn around a little bit. Towards the December was a really difficult month for me. It ran really poorly, and then especially the last few days, just it seemed like I was getting doom switched all over the place, getting aces cracked, running kings into aces, running aces into kings and losing, running kings into ace king and losing, getting sucked out on the river, and guys always making their hand or again boards running, four to a flush, four to a straight. Every time I three bet for value, everybody folding. Every time I three betting as a bluff, I was getting four bet. But again, it appears that so far this year I've been running as poorly as I was running in December. I've been running pretty well in January. As we can see here, 130 minus $134, a little bit below EV. This is a little bit skewed though because I have been playing some higher stakes. I've been playing mostly 100 and 200 no limit lately. And if we look at the reports tab, here for all the hands we can see. I've also tightened up a little bit. I'm playing a 23-18 style. I think it's going to be a little bit more effective because again the guys tend to be playing a little bit more laggy, so I think when more players are playing a little bit more open style, it's better to play a little bit tighter and play a little bit better range. And we can take a look at the win rate, winning at 0.3 big bets per 100 and with a 0.6 big bet per 100 expected value win rate. Now, some people again may be confused that one, that I'm down money here, and two, that my EV is less than that. How my expected value is actually lower or above my actual win rate, because this is just dollars and this doesn't factor in. I've big bets per 100 is a pure win rate, and it factors over what your win rate is over all playing stakes. So maybe again, though I'm losing money, I'm playing winning poker and I'm playing profitably. For all intents and purposes, I'm practically playing. I'm playing a little bit better than break even, but again, still playing profitably. If we go back to the sessions tab as well, even though we are slightly losing money here, again the swings are going to be a lot less, are going to be much bigger because I'm playing 100 and 200 now. So therefore, the swings are going to become greater. Actually, at the end of December, I think I was running close to 25 buy-ins below expected value at 50 no limit, but then because I won a couple flips at 100 and 200, it makes up for that very, very quickly. And as we can see, I generated $2,700 in rake, which if we take 40% of that, we're going to get about $1,100 or $1,200 in rake back that we've made so far. And if we take a look at our graph, so as we can see this year, again, I've run pretty well. I think the shape of the graph is pretty nice as well too. And also we can see, because we're playing against a little bit better opponents too, I feel like there's more opportunities to make some plays and to play a little bit more aggressively in spots, which helps with our non-showdown winnings, where at the 50 NL and the 20 NL, I think guys again are calling a lot more. So barreling guys are trying to make plays where a guy, when I say he can't possibly call here, and then they end up calling with bottom pair. When you're playing against a little bit better opponents, they can make better folds. So I think you have a little bit better opportunity with non-showdown. So this is this year so far. As we can see, I'm running pretty well. Lost a couple big hands here towards the end. As you can see, we are up to almost 1,600 in profit, and now we're down to 700. But again, playing the 200 no limit games, it's going to create a little bit more volatility there. You lose a couple flips all of a sudden, you lose 3 all-ins, and that's $600 that you lost there, as opposed to if we look at last year, how I did, starting, this was mostly December, we can see, like, I just, right at the end of the month, it was like, boom, I got doom switched here. This was all 50 no limit, too, so we dropped, like, let's see, what was at the top here, 400 to minus 800, so we dropped almost $1,200, all at 50 no limit, which was pretty disheartening, and I was a little bit discouraged. but I felt like I was playing well, and to be honest, I thought I may have had to drop back down to 20 no limit at that point. But again, with the rake back, this is where the rake back really comes in and makes a huge difference, because it really helps to cushion it and cushion the bonuses. So I felt like I was playing well, and also I did as poorly as I was running at the cash games towards the end of December. I was running pretty well in the tournaments. Like if we look at Shark Scope here, for whatever reason, Hold'em Manager doesn't track Minted too well. For whatever reason, it has trouble tracking the tournaments. I've had this with other issues too with the Hold'em Manager. I'm not really a tournament player, so I don't really focus on getting it up and running. But we can see I played 46 MTTs, average profit of $18, average stake of $16, 128% ROI with a total profit of $834. So if we take our total of, if we look at all our hands here, we can see I'm minus 134, but if we add in the $800 that I've made, then we're still net profitable, almost $700. I think this is probably a little bit less. I think this is closer to probably maybe closer to $700 in profit though, because from what I've seen, SharkScope sometimes misses when you rebuy. So I know there's times that I've rebought that it hasn't calculated it in, so the amount of money won might be slightly higher than what I've actually won, but either way, not a huge discrepancy. And again, so overall played about break-even poker, about where we want to be. And the good thing is though, if we take a look at the lobby right here, we've got our bankroll up to almost $2,500 now. So we started with $500, and now about 6 weeks later, we've got it up to $2,500, and really, I feel like I haven't been running, though I've run well at the cash games this year. Overall, I don't think I've run particularly well at the cash games, so I think that's a really nice, it's really nice not running that well to have our bankroll, 5 times what it was from what we started. Again, I feel it really shows the advantages of rakeback and bonuses and how it can have a huge impact, even if that's just keeping you afloat. Because again, it has the snowball effect of, even though I wasn't running great, with the rakeback, it allowed me to at least maintain the limits that I was playing, which allowed me to maintain the rakeback. And even now, because I felt like I was playing well, I could take some shots at 100 and 200 with my bankroll, which again is going to be generating more rakeback. Which again in turn is going to be growing our bankroll more quickly. I think one thing I wanted to touch on briefly is that understanding table conditions and understanding how the table conditions can change as well. Like this weekend I was playing mostly 100 and 200 no limit, and I was really trying to do a good job of table selecting and trying to pick good spots. So finding a table where there was at least one, if not two, weaker opponents on the table, where ideally I could sit to their left so I could play against them and really isolate them and play against them, and look for really profitable spots. That was over the weekend, and I found that there were a lot of tables that I was able to find and do that, and the other regulars that were sitting at my table really weren't punishing me for doing that. They were allowing me to isolate the players. I felt that the regulars that I was playing against this weekend were also players who were taking some shots and playing a little bit higher because there were good table conditions and the such, and I felt like I was as good, if not better than them, and would be able to have a good edge on them. Yesterday, Monday, when I was playing, the issue I was having is I was table selecting 100 and 200, but at the 200 no limit games, even though I was able to still find the weak opponents, the other 2 to 4 opponents, depending if I was playing 4 max or 6 max, were on average much stronger opponents. So they weren't allowing me to isolate the weaker opponents as much, and they were creating more difficult spots to me, which is going to be creating more variance. So again, these particular players I felt were as good, if not better players than I was. So it's important to be able to recognize that. And I know a lot of the time it's difficult when you're playing a higher limit and you want to be playing that limit to be dropping down, or to say, oh, I don't really have an edge against these guys, or these guys are even better than I am. but I think that that's a very important skill. So I think during the week, unless I spot a really good spot at a 200 no limit table, for the most part, I'll probably stick to 50 and 100 no limit during the week, and then try to look for some better spots over the weekend, also depending on what my bankroll looks like, to possibly take some shots at some 200 no limit tables. So I think that I'm going to set a goal at 5,000 for the Bankroll Builder update, so we're working towards that, and I'm looking forward to reporting to you guys next week or the following week, depending on when we get some hands in. This is Sebastian Natural Mystic Pollock signing off for RakeBackDollars.com.